it's me, John, aka Nosy, and I'm here for a topical question-ish kind of video today. And I'm asking the question of sort of in the, asking what is it when it comes to a Transformer, a toy of a Transformer? What is kind of the criteria? What is the criteria from, when it comes to a toy? What is it that really appeals to you personally? Is it how it looks? Is it show accurate? Is it the articulation, the playability factor? And what are those reasons? What are your personal preferences when it comes to a toy? You as someone that is, are you somebody like myself that only buys figures that genuinely interest me? Or are you a completist collector, so that no matter what character it is, you just buy them all because you want to complete the line? Or are you somebody that specifically looks at a toy and looks at a toy in a certain way it ticks certain boxes for me, or it ticks all the boxes for me, that is why I'm going to buy it? For me, answering this question, I've got a figure here, actually, weirdly enough. Obviously, it's Beast Wars Legacy United Snowball. So, I'm not using him specifically as an idea or as an ideal figure, but he is certainly a decent contender for that. But what I'm saying is when it comes to a toy, what is it about them? What is it about them that really, makes you buy or pay money for it? For me personally, as I just mentioned, I'm not a completist collector. Never have been. I only buy figures or set. So I don't only have Transformers toys. I have, figures from other lines as well. So I don't just stick specifically just to Transformers, but this question is in regards to Transformers, of course. So what is it about a Transformer that really makes you really go, oh yes, I want that? For me, as I said, I'm not a completist collector. I don't complete full lines. I don't have a full collection of anything. I have quite a staggered collection of different lines. I have a bit of Unicron Trilogy, I've got a bit of G1, I've got a bit of Beast Wars, I've got quite a lot of Beast Wars, but not all of it. I've got some Transformers Prime figures, I've got a couple animated figures. And I've got some Chug as well. When it comes to a figure for me, one is, I do appreciate a very nice head sculpt. The head sculpt, if the head sculpt is very, very close to its animated counterpart, or the figure itself is really, really well designed, that it genuinely looks like it's coming, like you are physically holding like a physical representation of the character that is on screen. Me personally, I really do like the whole animation, or should I say anime accurate. I like, the term anime accurate or animation accurate. I like that when it comes to a toy. So say me personally, I'm a big Beast Wars fan. So whenever say for instance like Primal, for instance, Optimus Primal, there's been a lot of different Primals over the years. Now, I have a big soft spot for the original Transformers Prime mold, the original toy from 1995, and I've got two versions of that. I've said the original one, which is the Kenner one, because it was Kenner that did the Beast Wars toys, and then Hasbro took over. So I've got the original one, and then I've also got the 10th anniversary one that Takara did, which has much more better paint application, and it is much closer to the animated counterpart of the character. So out of the original 95 one and the 10th anniversary version that they brought out, the 10th anniversary version is my personal favourite of those two toys, because even though I love both of them, you know, that is the original figure. The 10th anniversary figure is awesome as well. They are exactly the same figure, but it's, for me, I absolutely love the fact that they went an extra mile, put much better paint application to it, and it generally looks like I have a physical representation in my hand of the character that I loved as a kid. The character I loved as a kid is physically in my hand. I'm playing with it. So for me personally, that is one bit of criteria that that really draws my attention, is that character or that figure really does embody, or they've done a good job designing it for it to look so close to its animated counterpart, or whatever the animated character it's based on. And then you get some bad examples, such as like Transformers Prime Knockout, for instance, like the original figure that got brought out. I mean, I love Knockout from Transformers Prime. He's a great character, a fantastic character. He has so much about him. But then they did him dirty when it came to the toy. I do have the original. I think I've still got Knockout, even though I don't like it, the toy. But we understand for some reason some figures don't work out whenever a toy representation of a character comes out, it doesn't necessarily work, or for some reason they've buggered it up when it comes to the design process of it. So for me personally, what really gets me to part ways with money when it comes to a toy is mostly, with my criteria, if it's a very faithful design and representation of the character of from a series or from a comic book or whatever. And then also I really do like very out there color, color combinations. I love color combinations. I mean, obviously you've got your Optimus Prime, for instance. You've got your blues, your reds, and your chrome, or your silvers. Things like that. So it breaks up very nicely. But then you get some very out there characters that are that have come out over the years that have incredibly striking, very interesting and very unique colored combinations. Now I've got a character in my collection. I've only got, I think it's a Generations figure. It came out, when did it come out? 2013 maybe, something like that. And it's a character called Nightbeat. I think it's Universe Generations Nightbeat. And even though the toy itself it's nothing special, it's still a fun mold that figure is made from, or is the mold it is. But I just absolutely love it, and I've never parted ways with it, even though I've still got it in my collection. It's probably one of the oldest figures I've got still in my collection that I've never gotten rid of over time. And it's a figure that I picked up from, I think it was off of Toy Fu, actually, at either a TF Nation or Auto Assembly. It would have been Auto Assembly, I think. And so at a convention. So I saw it and I thought, I do not know who that character is. I've never seen that colour palette on a figure before. So I picked it up because it caught my eye straight away because of how striking, like you had baby blue, like a baby duck egg blue kind of colour, with all these very interesting psychedelic kind of colours. And it just drew my attention. I didn't even know the name of the character. I didn't even know who it was when I first bought it, but yet my attention went straight to the colour combination of the colours on it. Very out there, very outlandish colours, and so I bought it just on complete impulse. So that's another criteria for me, is, as I said, I'm not a completist collector. I buy just on what hits my eye and what really hits my interests. And it could be something as simple as the colour combination, if it is a character that I am aware of, then it has to be something, it has to be very close to its animation counterpart, or if it is a new, different mold or a different take on a character, I will look at it and think, okay, there has been some different takes, you know, obviously different companies, or over the years there's been like different versions of a character that have been done in a different mold, or you know, whatever, and I've looked at them and I thought, yeah, no, that doesn't quite work for me, and then, oh yeah, okay, that does work for me. So yeah, I mean, for me, it has to, anything that has a very out there, very in your face, interesting color palette. I love my color palettes. I love the combination of colors where they break up really well. Also, is another one that you don't see very much on a figure these days. It's very rare that you do, and it's light piping. And I wouldn't be surprised if anybody else replies to my video, says something about light piping. Now, light piping is a thing that has kind of died out. You don't see it very often. You might see it on more higher, you might see it more in your masterpiece figures. I don't know. I don't know, but you used to see it a lot during the Chug line, the Universe Generations Classics Henke line, the Chug line, and all that stuff from like the early mid 2000s, from like the mid 2000s time. So when those figures were coming out, quite a lot of them had like light piping. They had elements to them, like very like clear plastic within the mold. So if you shone it up to a light source, it looked as if the eyes were glowing, or something was glowing, and it really is cool, and it's good for dynamic photos as well. So if you're somebody that really likes to take photographs of figures, like a toy photographer, for instance, that's kind of a hobby interest of yours, then that light piping really is a thing that really does, you know, really does spark an interesting pull, you know, a gravitational pull to that. So light piping is something that you don't see very often. So nowadays, if I do see a figure that I don't own, and I think, ooh, even if it's a relatively new one, so it's, say if it's been out for about a year or so, during the recent lines, and I'm like, ooh, light piping, you don't see that very often. I will probably pick it up on that, just by that alone, because it's got light piping on it. So light piping is another one. Interesting colour combination, and if it's a character I am well aware of, and if it looks a really good representation of that character, and also if it's very show accurate as well, then that is also a personal draw for me when it comes to buying it. So there we are, that is my video. Thank you very much for watching. Please, by all means, if you're interested, please by all means reply either via comment in the comment section below, or even do a video response. It'd be good to see some interesting responses. But yeah, so that is my topical video for today. Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Bye bye.